welcome to a little piece of heaven farm. This is the 4th of July weekend, 2021. I'll give you a little update, a little garden tour, and do a little bit of harvesting. Well, first up are some of our beets. There's some green beans planted amongst them. About a week ago or so on the weekend, we had 100+ degree temperatures, and as you can see, it has done some leaf damage. But still hasn't affected the forming the root. So we'll let this go a little bit longer, and we'll probably have these harvested and we'll can them up. Right over here is our elephant garlic, and we're going to go ahead and get these pulled out of the ground. See the one here, little baby. You just save those and pluck that back in the ground, and it'll get you a nice big elephant garlic next year. So I'll just go ahead and pick that off, and I'm going to get him replanted once I get the rest of the elephant garlic harvested. Couple little babies. Pluck those off, and we'll plant those back in the ground for next year's garlic, elephant garlic. Look at the size of that one. There's a few more babies right there. There's all the little ones I got off of them. So I'm going to go ahead and get them put back in the ground. Right over here is broccoli. I've already harvested the main heads and harvested some side shoots. I do have one right there I could probably pick, but they're pretty much all been spent. This one's here got away from me, and these are just the side shoots, and I've already harvested a bunch of them. As you see, I've already harvested this side shoot, and I guess you'd call this a third harvest if I was out here getting them before they went to seed like that. Anyhow, my wife wants me to keep these leaves. I guess she's gonna can them up, make some sort of greens with some ham or bacon with it, and onion. Cauliflower here, the leaves have been pretty much shot because of the heat that we had a week ago or so. It was 100+, so we'll probably just pull these out and just give it to the chickens. And some more green beans. Here's our horseradish from the store challenge in SHEDWARS. Doing quite well. Over here we got some cucumbers. Growing like a weed. Here's some snap peas. Some more cucumbers. Potatoes. Once again, this was from that 100-degree+ temperatures that we had about a weekend ago. Did some damage. Here's some of our other onions. Now I've stopped fertilizing them, nitrogen, a couple weeks ago. So they're starting to bulb up. I don't know if you can see it down there. Yep, starting to bulb up. Now these ones I fertilized nitrogen. You can see a lot of dark green growth, lots of leaves. And these ones right here, I did not feed it nitrogen. And you can see a huge difference. These are not quite as dark green. They're not as big. There's not as many. Now let's see. See if we get down in there. I don't know if you can see or not, but see, they're bulbing up. I guess we'll see when we start to harvest them if that affects the size of the bulb, which I'm sure it probably will, seeing how there's not as many green leaves, not as dark, not as tall, etc. Anyhow, I'm going to go over here and harvest some of these snap peas. As you see, they are ready. You could eat them whole, just like that, or you could shell them and eat the peas. Either way, that's what I like about this variety of snap peas, because you can eat the whole pod. And here's my tomatoes. As you can see, it outgrew my trellis. Do need to do some pruning so air would get through them to prevent some diseases. I do got one nice big one in here. Let me get this bad boy picked. There we go. Get that put into my basket. I got some more on there. Still blooming, still setting fruit. Let's check out the other tomatoes I have. And here's my other one. It too is also growing quite well. Got some tomatoes on here that could be picked. On with our garden tour. Here's our peppers. This one right here is our not a jalapeno. I just like picking them off here and just eat them fresh out of the garden. Very good. Over here I got some more green beans, some radishes, these are potatoes. I'll probably be harvesting these here for the month's order. This one here is our spinach chard. Once again, about a week ago or so, on the weekend there, we had a couple days of 100+ degree temperatures, and you can see what it did to those leaves, burned them up. So we'll just pick those off and feed it to our chickens. Lemon balm. Growing things in a pot. There's an eggplant. Straight neck squash. Got kale. Some kind of currant. Don't know the variety. Here's our chocolate cherry tomato. These are all these things growing in a pot. Right over here in this container, we got sweet potatoes. Some green beans. Here's our sunflower. These are all volunteers. Right over here we got some I think call them water spinach. Kohlrabi. And I got some few more little green beans growing in there. And there's our zucchini. As you can see, it's time to harvest those zucchinis. So I'll get these harvested and bring them in the house, and either we'll freeze some up or dehydrate some and eat some fresh for tonight's dinner. Okay, let's go ahead and get these picked. They're all harvested, and they are on the big side, but they should be just fine. I really wouldn't let them get too much bigger than that. Over here is my carrots. Rutabaga. I guess you call this celery. I guess you eat the bulb or the root. I guess they say it tastes like celery. This is the first time growing them, so we'll see. And this one over here is the actual celery. They're doing pretty good. Some Brussels sprouts. Starting to form little bulbs down there. Little balls, whatever you want to call it. Sprouts. Here's another chocolate cherry tomato grown in a pot. And over here I've got some lima beans. Okay, let's take you over to my grapes and berries rack. Here's our grapes. The ones here on this side are the ones I started from cuttings. Doing very well. We usually eat them fresh or make grape juice, and occasionally we'll make some wine. And the back side here is elderberries, and we have made elderberry wine out of these. Very good. Over here is our blueberries, and due to that extreme heat we had a few weeks ago, it was 100 plus, and it's been in the 90s prior, reaching 100. Just about all of my berries fell to the ground. I guess they couldn't take the heat. But strawberries did quite well. I have harvested quite a few strawberries through the month of June and into July. These are ever-bearing, so they will constantly give me strawberries. And some more blueberries. Over here is some marronberry. For whatever reason this year that they don't seem to be producing the big berries. They're staying quite small. So I might have to do some heavy pruning, which of course you prune this year's berries branches off anyway. It could be that I have too many branches coming out of the ground, so I was trying to feed too many branches to produce the berries. So if I were to cut back on a lot of these branches, this new growth here is what will produce the berries next year. So if I eliminate, if I keep the, I can't even talk now for some reason, but if I just leave a few of those new ones on there, I should get some big berries. I may have just too many branches, what's going on. Unless the extreme heat has something to do with it. Now I know the heat has something to do with that, or some of them turn white. That's what I've heard anyways. Okay, over here I've got my cantaloupe. Plenty of blossoms. So it looks like I should get plenty of cantaloupe. Right beside it is watermelon. It too has plenty of blossoms. And so far this year, these melons are doing very well. Last year they were only half that size at this time. Butternut squash and sweetmeat squash. And here's my corn. Doing very well. You feed the corn nitrogen every other week to get. Anyhow, this is the first crop. There's my second crop. Got a wild sunflower. I wouldn't necessarily say it's wild, but I planted them elsewhere in the garden. Somehow it migrated over here, more likely from birds. And over here is my third crop. I just planted whatever seeds I had left in here. Okay, let's go check out our kiwi. Here's our kiwi. It already bloomed. Let's see if we can find some kiwis on here. There we go. Last year we made kiwi juice out of it. Well, anyhow, thanks for stopping by a little piece of Heaven Farm and checking out a little garden tour and doing a little bit of harvesting. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye.